Hello Aaron, got your carburetors finished, ready to go. Going to do a testing and adjustment, show you how these guys work. One of the first things you want to do is have a wrench here to stabilize the fitting in the float bolt cover, and then you do all your wrenching here. Stabilize this one so it doesn't booger up the soft float bolt cover threads. We're going to, let's see, the choke mechanism. There's a little adjustment on the choke mechanism. You can undo the jam nut here and adjust these screws up and down to where you get the proper alignment for your choke cable into the two levers. Make sure you got fresh fuel, fresh filtered fuel. Check all your throttle linkages. For instance, when you activate your choke, you're actually moving all of this assembly. In fact, I'll show you just a little bit of it. If you choke a little bit, you notice we move this right here. So you're moving all your throttle linkage by pulling the choke. So make sure your choke cable is lubricated. When you mount the carburetors, choke levers go to the center. Mount the carburetors so they're loosely attached to the intake manifold. Put your air log in place, snug down the air log with a couple of nuts, and then do the final tightening on your carburetors, and that way your air log will be aligned to the studs, which I'm going to install later on. Things that we're going to go over: the idle mixture screws. These ports have been machined and precisely bored so that instead of the usual 1.5 turns out, these go about 1/2 turn out. So if you're ever baselining these carburetors, you're going to screw this in until it snugs down, then back it out 1/2 turn. In fact, I'll demonstrate it right now. There's that. Actually, I've already made contact, so it's not even 1/2 turn. It's very precise adjustments on these carburetors. The other thing we're going to be dealing with, or that you will deal with in the future, is the G55 idle jet. If you should ever lose idle, it's because of this jet right here. All you got to do is unscrew it, and I need a better screwdriver than this, but anyway, all you do is unscrew it, and there's a little orifice in there that you clean out. I'll go over, I'll do a second video for you of diagnostics and checking to see what's yeah, troubleshooting, that's what it is. Let's see what else. And then of course this adjustment right here for idle speed, and we will be, hang on a minute, got allergies. Oh good lord, allergies. We're going to be using this engine analyzer to check RPM and to adjust the idle mixture screws. We're going to be using the lower scale right here. And let's see what else. You need to adjust the carburetors when they are warmed up, and then you're going to use your this synchronizer, the BK 1-35 right out of the box. This thing fits the Solexes just fine. Yeah, let's see. It's cold start. These things have been cold soaking overnight, so they're cold. And we're going to do an actual cold start and then warm it up and do the adjustment. And then I'll show you how everything works. Let's see here. Let's see. Switch on. Sometimes depends on the carburetors. Tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to do one squirt, just not a full squirt, but one squirt. Switch on. Choke. Now I'm going to warm up the engine, then we'll show you how to adjust the carburetors. We're starting to get some temperature here. Bring up the temp. Alright. So first thing we're going to do is disconnect the linkage. And we're going to check with our synchrometer, our airflow. It's hard to do with the camera in the way. Let me get over here. Get behind the camera. Alright, so all we want to do is make sure that the minimal airflow through here, 2 or less is gravy. And you can see we're not flowing anything. Alright, to speak of now, we're going to make sure these are synchronized. So obviously I've already synchronized them, but this is running about 6. It's running about 5, almost 6. So that gives us, let's switch over here. That gives us about a 675 idle. So let's say we want to bump that idle up. Well, we're going to go back here. And screw these in the same amount since they're threaded the same. So we screw this in about a quarter turn and this one about a quarter turn. You hear the idle going up. And we'll check our airflow. Alright, at 6. Alright, at 6. So now we're up to about 750 in RPM. We can go over to our idle mixture screws. And again, these things are very precise now. So we're over here, and I'm going to screw it into the engine stumble, screw it out to the engine stumbles, and then we're going to get our midpoint. Here's the engine stumbling, back it out. Engine stumbling again, back it in. Back it out to get our midpoint. And I also use the this meter right here to watch our RPM, so we get our best RPM. So I'm going to do that again. Okay, so we'll screw this in, start stumbling. See our RPM dropping. Alright, now back it out, start picking up our RPM. And you see it dropping off again. I go back in, get our midpoint. We're getting our best running. There we go. Same thing with the other carburetor. Dropping off, back it out, picking up our RPM. Looks like our best idle right there. So now we're up to 775. Let's say we want to drop the idle. There we go. So just for fun, let's see how low this thing will idle. Just for fun. Okay, let's go back here to the scale. Move this thing over so it doesn't have as much vibration. Still, I want these guys to put a 6-inch pad down for my they might go out here, and they didn't. They put it, I can't believe all the vibration. They put a 4-inch pad, just pitiful. So anyway, I don't know what I'm gonna do about this. Well, at least you can see the numbers. All right, just for fun, see if we can get this down to how low we get this to idle. 600. It's 500. Yeah, down to 500. Let's even get let's even go to 4 just for fun. How about that? 400 RPM idle. That's all due to the machine work that these guys are doing for me. Just amazing. The quality of their workmanship. Alright, you don't want to lug the engine. Let's bounce it back up. Using a synchrometer. With 600. That's 700. Let's try to see if we get synchronized, synced at 700, give or take. There's 5. Six. Okay, so we're at about 700. I like that. Come back up here. What happened here? Sunlight. This is weird. What the heck happened to my camera? Huh. It's all washed out. Oh, there we go. I don't know what's going on. Alright. Now, we're back here. Check using our synchrometer. We're at 5.5, almost 6. 5.5, almost 6. Now, next thing we're going to do is make sure that this snap's in place. It does not adjust our idle, and that's why we've got a turnbuckle here. We can adjust this in or out. Make sure nothing changes. Lock it down. Obviously, you're going to do this with a wrench. I'm just doing this temporarily. And if we accelerate and it spits out, backfires, that means it's running lean. And we'll open up the mixture screws a little bit. Obviously, it doesn't spit. So we're looking good. Do a hot start. Alright. Also, I'm going to adjust the little screws that go back here to that connect to the counterweight. What you do is you put your finger on the linkage right here and you move the counterweight so just a little bit of clearance. That's just barely enough that you can just barely feel it. So that's already adjusted, but you can double check these anytime you want. All right, you hear that very small amount of movement. All right, that comes from these screws right here. These guys right here. Right down there. So this is a jam screw right here, and this is one that adjusts up and down the linkage, the gap between the first barrel and the second barrel throttle shaft. So what you want is just a little bit of free play to this counterweight right there. If you have any questions, certainly you can ask me. Let's see, what else am I forgetting we need to discuss? I think that's basically it. These are dummies. You don't need to mess with those. They don't do anything. Clean fuel, filtered fuel. Drive the car regularly. You should be good to go. I'm going to do another video, give you an idea of troubleshooting. The biggest issue with troubleshooting is people don't drive their cars often enough. All right, thank you for sending these to me. I appreciate your consideration and your patience. But I think we got you a good set of carburetors. I'm going to do a little bit more testing, a little bit more cold start testing. I'm supposed to get freezing temperatures here over the weekend, so I'm going to test them over the weekend as well.